super juicy. Look, yeah, but don't touch, baby. No, 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 don't touch. Who's that lady? Who's that lady? Sexy lady. Who's that lady? Beautiful lady. Who's that lady? Real fine lady. Who's that lady? I would dance upon a string, any gift she'd wanna bring. I would give her anything if she would just do what I say. Come around my way, baby. Shine my way. Who's that lady? Who's that lady? Beautiful lady. Who's that lady? Lovely lady. Who's that lady? Real, real fine lady. Who's that lady? I would love to take her home, but her heart is made of stone. Gotta keep on keeping on. If I don't, she'll do me wrong. Do me wrong.
Live from Los Angeles, it's the Leon Watkins Show. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Leon Watkins.
David, how you doing,
Hey,
man?
good, Leon.
How's everybody else doing?
We're
How
all
are you,
back.
Missy Pooh Dawn? How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Oh man, I'm doing just fine.
I missed y'all.
How's everybody else doing? Did you help somebody? If you help somebody, raise your hand. Boy, we've been gone. See, that's what I'm talking about. Now, see, some people say they help somebody, but see, with me, you're gonna have to say what you did, and it's got to be less than a minute. So, when your time comes, be ready. Boy, I missed everybody last week. We were all gone for a while, and we had our different things we were doing. And I'm glad to be back on the air. I'm glad to see all my people. The fantastic producer, David, and the engineer extraordinaire, superstar,
I wouldn't say
woman
all
of the
that.
hour. I open up my Instagram, who I see, my engineer, and, laid out with two famous people, two famous comedians he was with.
Who?
Wanda Sykes and what's the other lady?
Kim Whitley.
Kim Whitley.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
She's big time.
She is.
And,
Wow.
and they didn't say nothing to us. I mean,
Well, I found out only a few days prior to when I was still in Detroit on Thursday. I found out that I was working on a pilot with them.
wow. And see, now that's very impressive. That's why I look and say I have to, I'm glad that I know you, that I don't have to put on airs with you, and I can just see you for who you are.
Absolutely,
For
always.
not for what, you in the big time. And just, David's already been there. So I always have to give him his props. You guys. Wait a minute, he ready to say something, so I'm
Well,
gonna
I'm
be
just
quiet.
wondering if that picture was taken with Wanda before or after she cursed out her audience.
After, so she did mention it to the audience there, how she had gotten so upset and what happened. It was awesome.
Well, we're gonna talk about that in a second, okay? I mean, I want to hear about that. I've been a fan of Wanda Sykes for many years. She was one of the best back in the day, because it's been many years ago when I first laid eyes on her, when she did a special. She had some specials on HBO. Did you see it, Dave?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Anyway, I'd just like to thank God for being here. Thank you, Lord, for allowing us to see each other again. And we come back safe and sound, Lord. Everybody was doing their thing. Dawn was in the air or going through different states, and she's back now. And I just thank God that we're here. God bless those that are out there and have some pain. Give it over to God. He can take care of everything. Thank you, Lord, for allowing us to come here safe. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I'm so glad to be here. I'm so glad to be a part of you guys' lives. And hopefully that somebody out there can get something out of this show, that God will be pleased with what we're trying to do for our community as well as ourselves. All right. Now we're going to start right in on Wanda Sykes, since you brought that up. What did she do, David?
Well, I just read in the paper. She said something. The audience, I guess, booed her, and she cursed them out. That's basically the gist of it.
I mean, what she said, I wonder. You know what she said, Dawn?
I think the discussion, her jokes had something to do with Trump, and they weren't with it, and they started booing them, and so she said, F y'all, F y'all, F y'all. And
she's an acquired taste, I think. I mean, you have to. Her voice really grates me the wrong way sometimes. But I will tell you, I saw her at Paramount Studios when she was, having lunch with some executive, and she walked in, and I just sometimes think it's interesting when you see somebody when they're not like quote unquote on stage, when they're just sort of like just being their regular self, and it was such a totally different demeanor and person. I mean, it was just a.
Well, speaking of Trump. Because that's what they say he is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They say what you see when he's talking is one thing, but when he's by himself, he's another person. So is that, and a lot of people are like that. To me, that's entertainers. You see, they got a persona of their craft. Because Sammy Davis used to be all glittered up. I mean, as far as I go, rings everywhere. But see, when he's at home, he's not nearly as much. I think they have a character that they put out, and you have to do that because that's what people expect from you. That's what they see you. That's what they accepted you as. And so when they see you, they really surprised when you're just not. That's not you.
Right.
It's just like an actor when he plays a certain part and you get typecast for that part. They expect you to be a soprano. They expect you to be him. When you see him, they scared of you and all that kind of thing. But people have that kind of a character that they portray because that's where their money is. And so they're not really that way. It would be hard for somebody to do that 24/7. To be the way they are, the obnoxiousness of it, really. Like I look at Martin, for instance, the part he played, Marty Marr, and the way he acted. But he said he's not that way when they see him,
Yeah.
Like you that way, period, right? Where you are, you're going to be that way. But
Yeah.
everybody's not that way. Are they? Are you the same, or do you change up?
No, but it's the line is, I think, drawn sometimes between what's real and what's fake. And I think of, in particular, CNN. I don't know if you watch CNN or not, but, Wolf Blitzer and these guys, whenever you see them on a fictional TV show actually playing themselves, for instance, House of Cards is an example, the Netflix show, there's a presidential race going on in House of Cards. And so when they're on Jack Taper, all the guys are on saying the things to fit the script, but they're saying the exact same things that they would say in real life, whether it's about how the elections are going or news pieces, that sometimes you draw what's real and what's not real, so it's
well, David,
everything's entertainment.
I don't know if that's a good analogy because that's still they're still on the air. They're still doing something like
but I mean they're saying
I'm talking about what do they do when they go home? What do they do when they're out with their friends? Not in front of a camera. That's still in front of a camera. I mean, what do you do? How you act? I mean, who are you? When you go that way, when you go home, who are you to your wife, your girlfriend, your mother, your father? Because most of the time you see people say, that they're not really that way. I mean, they put on this thing when they're interviewing folks that's around them.
Or when they're in public or something.
When you see them, even when they're out in public. I've been with a couple of people, and they're just really nice people. They don't, and don't even like to talk about their craft a lot. They just want to be themselves. That's why a lot of them grow beards and do because they don't want to be known for that. And it's difficult because somebody see them. Millions of people see people doing things, and then when they go somewhere, they're very, very well known. So they expect them to be who they
to be on all the time.
That's it. And so they try to just go off and. Michael used to dress up and go out. Michael, they used to do that because there's no way that they could go out and just be, unless they wanted to stir up a stir. A lot of the rappers do that. They want to be seen because they get a lot of publicity with their new album and their new CD coming out and all that. So they go out and stop traffic or something. But speaking of that, though, speaking of what we talked with Mr. Trump, we haven't talked about the election. I mean, since it's happened and. What do you think about it? I mean, what do you think that? What were you doing when you finally found out that Trump was president? I don't know who you voted for, and I'm not asking that. I'm just saying, do you think? What do you think about your new president?
Well, I tried to stay up and watch it. It was too late, but. Hey, basically it comes down to it is what it is. He's going to be the next president, and I go with what Obama and even Hillary said, sort of. It's like you got to give the guy a chance. And I know that that's a very easy thing to say. And I know that my mother, for instance, Leon, is so upset. I mean, she's literally, I've never seen this upset about something. It's like she feels the world's going to come to an end and we're all going to go to hell in a handbasket, you know. But that's not the case. And I have to also say that because we are here in California, that California in particular has got very strong, whatever, and they're gonna stand still. I'll just end by saying this: I'm now beginning to become a fan of people like Elizabeth Warren and some of those other, fire and brimstone Democrats that are gonna hold his feet to the fire and make sure that things are good for everybody.
Well, you're just saying that. I want to ask you in a minute. In the Beverly Press, it says California continues against Trump, and you just thinking about California. I mean, there's a lot of people feel that way. And about him coming in, but I just feel like one man don't dictate what my life is going to be. If he's the president, he's whatever. Because I guess I've come to the point living as long as I have, and I can't allow any person to dictate how I feel emotionally, whether in that respect. But I look at it. I think I didn't vote for him. You know what I'm saying? But he did. He is going to be what he is going to be. But I'm gonna have to just go and do what I've been doing. I mean, I can't allow him to take me out of my game, my life's game, I call it. I got a life's game, a thing that I have to look at. And that person, either way, I'm talking about if I even got Hillary Clinton would have got in. I mean, I still couldn't let her be my savior. Like, I mean, you have to dictate who you are for yourself. I don't care who's in power like that. You have to be who you are. Because in the level of things, I mean, we're going to be affected basically by the money that's going to come out of your check, because they got all these programs they want to do, building walls and this and that. The money got to come somewhere. The way I look at it, it's going to be taxed or some kind of way to where people are putting money into a thing where they can get the money out to do these things that's in their head. It's going to hit you at your pocketbook. And basically what it is, because it's not going to be basically that I look at it, he's going to set some kind of moral standard for you. I think he's done too much to see that that's not going to work. Some people look at it that way because of who, or they're angry and all that. I can understand all that. But even that way, if I was angry at people, I still wouldn't allow them to dictate my life. Because that's taking away my own right and take God out of my life. Which God am I going to serve, this man or God? Oh, the God that I serve. And that's what it boils down to. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's just my opinion. But I respect everybody for what their beliefs are and what they do. I respect them. Anyway, I didn't want to get off into that like that.
Well, it's important.
I just feel this way, and I hope that people who have this thing where they can't function and stuff, that they, we gotta live. He's gonna do what he do, and it's like you say, whatever he does, he does. I mean, he got a lot of checks and balances going to be on him. He got millions of eyes that's on this man. This is the worst thing that could happen to him. I don't think that he really realizes what he's got himself into. That's the thing I'm watching, because you can see already that he doesn't understand what's going on, basically. And
I think Obama's supposed to be training him or carrying him.
Well, he just they got
tutoring him, kind of.
Because it's a traditional thing where they go in and try to ease in the other person into. But see, in this case, he has to do more. Because this man knew nothing about none of this stuff.
If you saw the picture of him sitting in the Oval Office with President Obama, he looked like it was starting to sink in. Like, this is real. I can't just go off and play golf when I want to. I got to run the country. It's like
there's a lot of things he's done. He really hadn't hit the tip of the iceberg about it. He just really getting started on this.
Right.
He's got a problem. He's never been prepared for it. Nothing has ushered him into it. He never held an office. He doesn't know anything about none of that. He used to do what he wants to do, and that he got away with that all the way through the preliminaries, all that thing I called it. He could do all that. That's over.
Yeah.
You can't. It's not going to work now.
They got upset with him. He went to dinner a couple of days ago with his family, and the press corps was upset that they didn't know about it because they got they have a pool of reporters that are ready to go whenever he goes someplace. And that, something as simple as benign as that.
He can't take that already.
Exactly.
He can't take them being everywhere he goes, everything he does. somebody's there with a camera, not hidden camera, straight up camera in your face, and you can't do anything about it.
That's right.
That's just part of the job. And so he lied. They lied and threw him off deliberately so they wouldn't find. I mean, all that. But see, he can't do that forever.
Nope.
It's gonna be.
He's starting to meet world leaders today. He's going to be meeting with the Prime Minister of Japan today.
Really?
But he's talked about all these countries like dirt, like dogs. Now he got to deal with all these countries.
He sure does.
I mean, straight up, because he didn't know none of these people.
That's
So
right.
now you're getting to know them and what you just said about them, and see they want to meet with you. They looking forward to it.
Oh yeah.
So they can get it because this is quick.
And they're established too. They're not.
They know, and they used to a certain thing from the former president. They used to certain things going on, which a lot of people say it didn't work. And I feel like it did work. We're still on Earth.
Yeah.
Right.
We're still doing what we had to do. Certain things. And millions of people got insurance. I mean, a lot of people say it's this and that, but what are you supposed to do? These people got insurance long term. They got stuff that they didn't have, and people say, "Well, that's wrong." Well, what do you have then? How come it's not put in place before he did it? Why didn't somebody do it? What gets me? You talk about it. Somebody has to do it. No, nothing's perfect, like you say, but it's there. Now, why don't you perfect it? Don't try to destroy it. Perfect it then. It's not what it's supposed to be. Is that right? Dawn, what do you think about the election?
I remember I was sitting up trying to watch it. I was in Detroit, and I know I had fell asleep, and I woke back up, and then I saw it. I was like, oh my gosh, this can't be true. For some, I don't really know if us as the citizens really have a say. I mean, I can be a skeptic at times, kind of like they already planned it. But there's something in my gut. I think he might actually do well. I don't know what it is, and I think it's mainly the business part. I haven't delved in the fact of all the racism, the prejudice, and all that kind of stuff. But I do, as far as think of him getting a handle on the country, I think because he is a perfectionist, he excels, he's going to figure it out. When I think about the fact of, like, the people, it's interesting. I think it's a wake-up call for all minorities, men and women, women who are Caucasian, white Americans, as well as every other race, because for so long, I believe that African Americans had to deal with the plight. And so now it's like, well, wait a minute, this includes me. So you may look like you're Caucasian on the outside, but more than likely, if you're from Russia or if you're from Slovenia, you're still an immigrant. So all those comments that he said about sending you back or building up a wall, that applies to you. So I think it was kind of like a shakeup for America when you really look at it for everybody. And, I was talking to somebody and they were referring back to the Great Depression. And they were talking about how so many people had jumped out and they had killed themselves. But a lot of African Americans, they kind of steadfast because it's like we were used to dealing with the pork belly and surviving. But this was a wake up call for, other individuals that never had to have the means of trying to survive. And so I think it's a wake up call for the country. Like, wait a minute, I'm not omitted from all of this. But I think it's ludicrous. I was for Hillary, but I'm not sure if I can say that I was solely thinking that her hands were clean and that she was wearing white gloves all the time. So it was kind of like, as some people had said before, choosing the lesser of two evils.
Well, you know what? Nobody's hands are clean. Let's get that straight. I don't care who comes in. Nobody. All of us have sinned and come short of the glory. So it's not that. Is that, are you willing to do the job of being president for all the people? Are you willing to put funds and things in communities where it's needed, regardless of what your political affiliation is? Will you help clean the water up in Detroit, in that area over there? Do you see what it is? And you're not interested in that kind of thing. Whoever's poor, white, black, green, are you going to help some of these people? That's the one I'm looking for. I mean, is that there? Is that out there like that? I don't know.
But it is scary when you see him. I'm looking at reports and online and social media in regards to, like, I can say, like, the racism that's going on in schools, people getting all types of profanities written on cars, what's happening in the dorms. Like, now that's scary. So one young lady, I saw a story where she was at a gas station and these gentlemen got out the car calling her all kinds of names. And, of course, she didn't react. Because, of course, the guy flashed his gun and talking about something, I should kill you right now. That's what I think is scary. See, I'm the wrong one. I probably say something and end up no longer being here the next day.
Well, they say you need to control yourself. Can't have that.
Right.
You might have been saying something to me you got back at him, but see, you ain't here no more. I mean, you got to learn how to restrain yourself, girl. Because, see, this is going to happen. The people that were looking for their leader to give them in that status. See, Trump is in the highest, most powerful man on earth.
Oh, yeah.
Here are these people down here that has these problems. They relate to this because of how he was acting and what he had said. So they're saying he's one of us. I can do this now because he is the president, so he said it. It must be okay for me to go out and put a swastika on the church and say whites only. See, that kind of thing. We can do all that. I mean, all these hate groups, white supremacists, Klan, all of them can come out now and feel like we out of the closet. Like we can just say and do what we want because we have a president that's going to support us. It's like he said, when the white guy hit the brother at one of his rallies, and Trump said, "I'll pay your bill for hitting this man." I mean, if I've got a problem, I heard that Trump's going to pay the bill for hitting that so and so, right?
Yeah. What's your view, David, on all what's going on with the racial tension?
Well, yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I mean, it's you're right, and I also think the people that that voted him in are the same people that are going to lose some of these benefits that he's threatening to take away, whether it be immigration or whether it be social reform or whether it be Obamacare, whatever. I mean, they're benefiting from it also. But he totally is a personality. I mean,
Completely.
Any good actor, Robert De Niro, and look at all the people that have played presidents. I was thinking about that. I mean, Chris Rock played the president in a movie. Other celebrities have played. I mean, they're actors, and basically he's a television personality that, it's like the movie Dave. Did you ever see the movie Dave with Kevin Kline? He was a lookalike to the president. When the president took ill, they brought this lookalike performer in to play the part of the president while they were trying. So they didn't want the country to get all worried. And so, we basically are going to have to see what happens. This is going to be the biggest reality show in the history of the world. And hopefully...
Well, I saw Dave and all that, and that was a funny picture. I like Dave.
Yeah, it was
fun. But, we have to look at it in that respect because when we talking about race and this and that, let's face it. I mean, nobody really wants to talk about it in that realm. People react to race. They don't talk about it. It's always a reaction, not talk. The person who want to attack a woman at a gas station with a gun. What does that say about the men? They're not going after a bunch of other men that's equal to them. They're going after... So you see, that shows you the cowardness that's going on in what we have to deal with. They're cowards. And they want to express themselves because of whatever reason. And that, again, the point I'm getting at is that they feel that they can do all these things and because they have a right, because they have perceived this man to be that way. Of course, he said he's not. He got on a 60 Minutes and said, if you're doing that, whatever you're doing out there, blah, 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 stop it. He's like he's their daddy or something. Stop it. Stop that.
Right.
That kind of thing. That's what he says. And I guess he feels like they're going to stop. It's going to get worse. And then you look at, as a result of this, let's talk about the demonstrations that's going on around the country. Thousands of people. And it's mostly white people. And I'm bringing the distinction because we say Black Lives Matter and we're going out there, they're marching and everything. Well, what are they marching for? I mean, they got everything. We look where they live at. That's what people say. Now they're marching. What are you marching for? I mean, what is your point? I mean, when we marching because of somebody's being murdered, straight up. I mean, and we're tired of it. And, from that. So that's our legal right to go out and march and do things. Because I don't advocate violence of any sort when you're doing that. Peaceful protesting. That's what I. But see, when it happens to another segment, now you see you're out marching. What are you marching for? What's the point of everyone? I like to just interview the different people and why they're marching. I think you'll be shocked. I think you will be because everybody has a different view of about all this stuff. Some people are marching not because of the other person that's marching. What are you marching for? And now just look at it, where we've come to now about I've never seen an election in my years of being a part of this kind of thing like this ever.
It's never happened before.
And it's steady unfolding almost every day. There's more stuff that I've never seen. And I've seen all kind of presidents. I was born, and I like Ike. Ike, right before Truman and all of them. I've been around a while.
Yeah.
And so they've never seen anything like this. That even the party couldn't do. The party was, Trump was against his own party as well as the Democrats, as well as a lot of the people. He fought everybody.
That's why a lot of people say that he might be more independent than either Republican.
Well,
or,
I explain that to what I feel as though I think that though in a certain aspect he'll do certain things, but he's got to fall in line like everybody else in that party. There's no doubt about it. He's not going. If he doesn't, he's not going to get anything done. He can't fight them like he did when he was running. Mm-hmm. He can't because that's where the establishment takes over. Mm-hmm. They are entrenched in this. He's got to come to them. And that's why they're coming and all of them saying we're going to do this because he's talking about behind closed doors. He got to get in line. I want to say this too. Do you know that some garment workers are making $4 an hour right now today in L.A.? Now that's another thing. It says some garment makers earn just $4 an hour.
Wow.
And they're doing an investigation.
Americans?
Right
Citizens?
downtown. In L.A.
But are they American citizens?
Yes. They're not somebody from Mexico.
I'm just surprised that they wouldn't fight for minimum wage. That part is a little interesting.
Well,
because I had a conversation. Yeah, because I had a conversation with some people, and they were talking about how Trump was trying to, remove like a lot of the immigrants here who are here to work for lower wages. And my argument was that. Well, my stance was that I think that even hiring immigrants, like okay, you got one aspect of, okay, you have immigrants who are going to work for lower wages, okay? And some people say, okay, that helps build up the economy, helps build up the world. But if those jobs went to Americans who can't find jobs, then perhaps that's going to help the economy and the nation overall. Because I know that there was a whole debate and conversation about how at one point prisons were allowing prisoners, they converted that to saying that was some sort of slavery, not saying anything about race, but because they would be working for huge corporations for saying $2, and this corporation, hypothetically, I don't quote me, could be Kraft or Victoria's Secret, and they're making way beyond or below minimum wage.
Mm-hmm. Well, all of these things, you're saying about Trump, he's changed that already, by the way. Mm-hmm. He says he's just going after the illegals who are criminals, who are here legally and they're wanted for crimes and doing this, drug dealers and all that. So he's changed that about 5 times already about this because, again, when you get to the reality of things you want to do, first of all, he was going to go and rip families apart, leave the kids here and take the parents and grandparents, send them back and leave the kids here. And then what is the kids supposed to do? Now you got to create a whole new thing because you got thousands and millions of kids that will be here left. Who's going to take care of them? Mm-hmm. What are you going to do with them? Right. You're going to take the parents and put them away. And then the little girl was saying some things about, they were talking about, by the way, we were talking about legalizing weed. What do you think of that? She was saying the expletive, I'm not going to say what she said, but she said, in other words, when you talking about the weed, free my mother, not make the weed legal, make my mother legal. Mm. You see, we seem to care more about these things than looking at a human being. Mm. And the little girl was saying, that's what I'm looking at. Why don't you do that for my mother? Make her legal. And so we got a heck of a thing going on in our country, in our state. We're not even touching things that's really going on. And like Marvin say, what's really going on? What's going on? And then he also says, mercy, mercy me. I think, these songs are so prevalent. And I wish I told you to play one of them because mercy, mercy me hits it right now. Things ain't what they used to be. That's what it said. And see, I'm not talking when Donald Trump says he's going to make America great again. And my question is, great for who? What do you mean, great? What does that mean? What kind of code is that? What does that really mean? What does that mean to you, David, when he says make America great again?
I don't know.
You have no idea.
I don't really know what I thought America's pretty good actually right now, so I'm not sure why it has to be great again.
Make it great again. I'm trying to figure, what do you think it means, Dawn?
I don't know because I felt like echoing what you saying, David.
Pretty good, all the negative stuff he was saying during the campaign. I was like, who is he talking about? What country is he talking about?
He's not talking about any country. When he said make America great again, he's had, who's been the president for the last 8 years?
Yeah.
Obama.
All right then. He's saying that. Remember, they all say that this country went straight to hell when he's been the president for 8 years. We got to make this great again because this man been in there and he's ruined our country. You're saying I don't see how's the country being ruined? What is so? Yes, a lot of things happen. We all need to improve. Nobody's perfect, but I think most people are still doing. Yeah, you're gonna have problems with any president if he thinks that he's going to escape not being criticized. He's gonna be the most criticized one, even though whatever he does, he's still going to be criticized because of how he got there.
I did just something interesting on the news today, speaking about making America great again. Apparently, the Chinese have a similar saying in their language, which is about making something great again. I heard this on the news today. So all the criticism that Trump was saying against the Chinese, in actuality, because of his slogan, they're looking forward to dealing with them. I think it's going to be interesting because they're looking forward to the relationship because they're both on the same path about making something great again.
They're going to looking forward to doing it because there's money involved. I mean, if they can get along and do it, the money got to keep flowing. I don't think it got nothing to do with him. What he's saying is money. The bottom line. What do they care about Trump? Can we keep coming over here selling our goods without you taxing us out? Keep that down. Can we just keep doing the business? I think it's all about business. He's like you said earlier. He's a businessman.
Mm-hmm.
They seen the business part of that man, not what he says about. To me, that's my opinion. What do they care about some slogan? Can we do business with you? Bottom line. Can I? Can we make money together? Can we all just make money together? We ain't got to get along. Just can we make money together? That's what it's all about. The whole thing's about. And a lot of people that suffer. I mean, the people in this country we see are steady on the down low. I mean, there's no a permanent class of people is not being taken care of here in our country, and we seem to sweep them up under the rug, and lives are expendable, and we can do what we have to do to hurt people and not love them the way we should. I don't care who the president is. If they're not doing that, taking care of people, all of them, then they're a failure. Mm-hmm. Now, that's my opinion. That's what I look at it. I don't care what you say you're going to do, and you helping this one, helping that. If you're not really, at least be simple. Okay, maybe not be able to do something right away, but at least act like it.
Right.
At least pretend like you care. Do something to show people that you're there, because some of these people are permanent underclass, $4 an hour.
That's absurd.
And like he said, what can you do with $4 an hour? Especially nowadays, you can't. It's hard to make it with $15, $20 an hour nowadays. I mean, anybody pay rent? And they talking about opening that stuff. So I mean, things is high. Behind gas and all that. Trying to live, you got a family. $4 an hour is not gonna get it. Oh my God! How come you ain't stopped me, y'all? We didn't pass
on the flow. Well, we could. I know if we're gonna go to break, you did something amazing dealing with food that I missed out.
That's right. You did miss it.
I know.
Okay, we're gonna hit with that as soon as we come back. Let's do that we'll start out with that. I want everybody to stay there because we got a video. I went to that festival, which Dave, producer, hooked up for us, and man, all that different food that I had to eat, they just kept bringing me more and more food that I had to get up and wallow out of there because there was so much of it, man. It was so good too. This is the Leon Watkins Show, and we'll be right back with Food Anonymous. All right. Well, we're here at the festival for catering, young, mostly African-American entrepreneurs with their businesses. And we're here to enjoy ourselves and to see what the eatery is like.
My name is Anthony Carter.
Anthony Carter, okay.
My business is named AP's Barbecue.
AP's Barbecue.
Mm-hmm. The AP stands for Anthony Cars.
Okay.
I've been in business for like 17 years.
17 years.
17 years doing catering, different events, doing all that. In the process of getting my own business.
Oh, I see.
I want to establish it. That's what I want.
So you got a good taste on your.
Oh yeah, I got a good homemade rub. I got a good homemade barbecue sauce that I make from scratch.
All right, I see you came back.
That's my favorite beef lick right there.
Let me get a little bite.
That famous barbecue sauce. Links nice and smoky.
I like the sauce, man.
Yes.
My name is Derek Lewis. I'm Not Your Mama's Kitchen. Soul food truck. What's the name of it? Not Your Mama's Kitchen.
Not Your Mama's Kitchen.
Yeah.
All right, what you specialize in?
Specialize in fried fish.
Sonny, how you doing?
I'm fine.
Leon
How you
Watkins from the
doing?
Leon Watkins Show. We're here enjoying ourselves.
I'm Sunny from the Blue Kitchen.
The Blue Kitchen,
Yes,
Sonny. All right,
yes,
Sonny.
yes,
Now tell us about yourself. How long you?
Well, I'm not the
cook?
chef. I'm the wife. Chef is actually
wife?
yes. I'm the wife of the
right.
chef. Right. He's just a chef from Compton. We do a little bit of everything. He's really known for the surf and turf. We pretty much do everything chicken and shrimp, from garlic noodles to pho. Anything you can, we do it.
What do you think about young African American entrepreneurs in business like this?
I think it's great because it's not a lot of black-owned businesses, so I'm all about recycling that black dollar and keeping the money in our community and building up the community and stuff like that. And I think this event was really great, for these young entrepreneurs because they work really hard and they don't really get recognized for their work. So we really appreciate Committee Collective for putting this together for us.
I'm Smitty, we're owner of Smitty Signature Pudding. We make fresh banana pudding with fresh bananas, strawberries. Right now, I'm sitting here with Leon Watkins, and he has a slice of my banana pudding.
Which I'm getting ready to eat right now. Wait a minute. Why is it so moist, man?
That's how we make our product.
This is delicious.
Appreciate it.
What does it feel like to be young and see a lot of young African American entrepreneurs out owning and featuring their own business?
It's a blessing, man. First it's a blessing because everybody out here either stepped out on faith and started their business, or had a relative or somebody older in their family that has the same talent as they do, and they just take it and run with it.
How long have you been in business, sir?
So we've been in business about a year now.
Okay.
Yeah, a little over a year. My wife and I started this business in 2015, September of 2015.
How's it going?
Business has been amazing, man. It's most definitely been a blessing. I've been able to quit my job. I do this full time now, and we have 4 employees, and so yeah, we've just been able to grow and really just set a footprint in the community.
But what are some of the obstacles you had being African American or young entrepreneur? But you are under 30.
Yeah, so I'm 30 years old.
Okay,
I would say one of the challenges I think is not necessarily having direct people you can go to for mentorship in my particular industry. As far as being able to see someone and see it tangible. I mean, entrepreneurship in the African American community is not something that is always encouraged. Generally, in our household, it was go to school, get a good education, go get a good job.
Hi, I'm Cheyenne, and this is Bernard, and we are the owners of Fun Diggity Funnel Cakes. A little bit about what we do. We're basically just trying to make funnel cakes more accessible to the inner city. One thing that we've noticed is that most of the time, a lot of people, even in their 30s and above, haven't had a funnel cake before, and that's either 3 reasons. 1, they've never been out of their community. 2, the funnel cakes are too expensive. Or 3, the line is super long. So here at Fun Diggity, right here in Southern California, we try our best to make our funnel cakes fresh and hot on site, and guarantee you'll have a Fun Diggity experience.
Yes, what is it like being a young entrepreneur, African American couple in business? What is your obstacle?
Well, one of the main reasons why we decided to start our own business was because of the different circumstances that we faced in our lives as far as financial stability and things like that. I'm actually a college student right now, and I don't get financial aid, so it really started as something that I needed to do in order to make sure that I could further my education. And with him, it was a self-journey. He was in between
I was
jobs.
in between jobs. I got fired from my job last year, and this amazing business right here is, we doing this all alone. It's amazing.
Yes, and so we just stepped out on faith in order to get something done and to bring something new to the community. Something, like you said before, store that you only can get at the fair. Now you can get it right here in your community.
Good to see you again, man. I'm in your environment, brother. Yeah, I mean, I see what you're telling me, man. This is fantastic, man. So how you been?
It's been pretty good, pretty good. First really big event. It's been promoted really well. Millennium is really awesome for letting us have this right here. And Committee Collective put it all together.
Yeah, I see it.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's fantastic. I look to see this is your truck here where you're sitting by.
Yeah.
Man, all right. What are some of the obstacles that you have in doing this business?
Oh, wow. Day to day is different. I almost didn't come out here today because something happened on the inside as to where it almost prohibited me from doing this event today. I mean, there's so many different things that could happen throughout the day that could just mess up everything. I mean, the truck could break down. You could have those things, those issues. Some of the equipment, man, I work, you know. It's just a bunch of different things that could go wrong. But thankfully, I made it.
All right, man, that was a beautiful event. I had such a good time. I mean, it was well put together. First of all, I want to thank my producer for putting that piece together. I mean,
you're welcome. Yes,
that was amazing.
A delicious event, wasn't it?
Oh, it was very, very good. And I just touched the iceberg of it. They had other food. I didn't get everything. I got so full. I said it's time
okay. What
to
all
go.
did they have? Just so I can live through this
we got
moment.
all the cards. We have a list. I should have to tell you the list. We didn't look at the fries. What is Mr. Fries?
Mr. Fries, something China, popcorn,
we did the
ribs, the soul food. But you know the interesting observation I made, Mr. Leon Watkins, and I was talking about this with my friends. All you saw, the food was delicious. Did you see any vegetables there?
Oh, yeah, he brought that
Did you
up.
see
When do you
anything?
ever see that at the street fair?
Was there anything healthy in that?
Well, see, like you were saying, that's not what it was for.
I know,
but no, you don't see that at stuff like that. People don't come to eat vegetables when they come to that. I know I wouldn't.
I just think it was interesting that it was
Roy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Roy, I'm coming to you in a minute, brother. Right now, you just hold on. Can you hear me?
He can hear you.
All right.
But you know, it was really nice. It was just really so encouraging, as we saw on the video, to see these young people with an idea and making it happen and wanting to all give back to the community. And I just think that was really good, and it's going to grow. The only other comment I had was, and I mentioned this to you also, was some of these items are fairly expensive. So I don't know how a family of could go out and afford to pay $12 for a funnel cake if you got to get like all the kids
I know
something.
you made that point, but I look at
share.
it. What you do, you go where you can get it. I mean, if I'm got a thing and it costs $12, I'm gonna go where the money is.
Right. So we're talking about giving back to the community.
Well,
though.
that is the community. You got people in the community can afford that. This is that they don't have to be rich or middle class or something to afford that. If I want it, I mean, I got enough money for that. I got money that I can do that with. It's not like you got to go way out of the community to get that stuff. I mean, somebody's keeping him in business, and it's in the community. He's at the fair. People at the truck. I don't know how many people came after we left.
It was very successful. And I hear they're going to do it again in January, so we'll...
I'm going.
Don't we?
I need a media pass.
Well, you're going to go if we say you going.
Okay, can I go?
What do you mean? You just ain't up and say you've been in New York and all that, and you come back...
I forgot.
Now you come back acting funny. Because you've been in New York City up there with that Trump Tower and all that. You're going to do a good job, man.
I didn't even see the Trump.
You see they're taking his name off of some of the apartments.
Well, but anyway, I see we got Roy on the line. I want to get to him. I know that right in a minute. I want to get to him. I just want to say about the event. Again, I want to close this up. That to see the young people like that's not publicized a lot. They was all negative about young African American, young minority anyway. Anything. They don't put it out. That was something that somebody out there should cover. These young men and women are doing a fantastic thing, and they're a good role model for young people in our community. That's what I want to say. And we have a list of everybody with cards and everything, and I want to be able to call one of them on our show, like I said I was going to do, and talk to them. We might just pick a card out one of them, and let's say we on air. All right, let's get to Roy and see what Roy talking about here this morning, this evening, this afternoon, whatever it is.
Depending on where y'all.
According to what's happening. Hello?
Man, look here.
Roy?
You and your crew just rattled the bones. I know you're not a political venue, but there were some statements made, and you were wondering why somebody would work for $4 an hour and all this. And you know what? These are Trump's employees. You know, all them ones he wants to build a wall up and all that against. Don't you know they're the ones that built Trump Towers. They're the ones that helped build them casinos and all that.
Yeah, I know.
You know how the rich got rich, don't you?
Of course.
Off the poor.
Of course. That's where it's always been. That's where it's always going to be.
Why in the world anybody think you put a billionaire in the White House and he ain't going to continue to do what he been doing?
Hey,
Because if it ain't broke,
I think that you got if you got stripes of being a zebra, I don't care if you go to New Zealand, you still a zebra.
That's right.
And that's that. This is Roy Moore, ladies and gentlemen. Roy, wait a minute. Roy.
I feel very bad.
Roy. Wait a minute, Roy. This is the Leon Watkins show. I want to introduce these. Some people might not know you, Roy.
Oh, they know me by now.
Well, you can't. Okay, wait. Hey, are you a celebrity? This is
not really.
Okay. Let me do this. This is Roy. This is Mr. Roy Moore. That my friend from the dialysis unit where I am. And I'm going to say that because both of us on that. We don't ever talk about it, but that's what we do. We have to do that 3 times a week. And he is really a veteran advocate. Oh, he's a people advocate. You know, boy, that go. And he comes on every week with me, and he'll say a few things. And those of you who don't know him, his name is Roy Moore.
Hey, Roy.
And this is Dawn. I don't think you met Dawn. Have you? I don't
think I had the pleasure of speaking with Roy just yet. Maybe quickly.
I haven't. Not really.
Well, it's a pleasure to finally, I guess, voice meet you.
Yes, I did.
Well, let me say this, Roy, before I go any further. I don't like the way you talking to him like that. What the?
Well, I'm not sure on the air, girlfriend, but I still want to be
Say what?
Nice as I can be.
Well, anyway, that's nice, Roy, but I don't understand what you talking to him like, you know.
Hey, Roy, what's going on? Nice to meet you.
That's better.
All right.
Don't be so.
Are you okay now?
Don't be so. I don't like that.
At any rate, there's one last thing I got to say before I leave.
Well, say it.
You know, a lot of people talk about make America great again. So when America hasn't been great, go live somewhere else.
Oh no.
Well, I think a lot of people tried to go over to Canada. You know, we shut the border down. That was amazing.
You think America ain't great? Go somewhere else and live.
Well, you know, people just talking. They go somewhere we want. Ain't no way in the world I would want to go anywhere else and to live.
You live in the greatest country in the world, and it's
right,
bar none. You know.
Well, see, some of them are doing a lot of talking, and you know, to voice their frustrations.
But I definitely ain't going for no walls and no cattle prod.
Oh wow, you didn't really took it another level. Okay, I ain't going for no rope either.
No rope either.
So where that go?
That's right.
So just to be able to look at it the way it is, we the ones, like when we were talking about earlier, when things went bad back in the crash, folks were jumping out of the 100-story window and everything, and all we had to do was step off the curb because we there, you know, we had to do that. So, Roy, appreciate you today. God bless you, and I appreciate your opinion. Always welcome.
All right, the same to you, Leon. You have a good day.
See you tomorrow, my brother.
All righty.
All right. Bye. Roy Moore, you know, I like his views. I like what he says. He's really on top of it. Although, you know, we didn't mention anything about the veterans this time. You know, the veterans. That's another thing. Everybody talk about the veterans, what they're gonna do for them, and all this kind of thing. That's been going on. You know, I remember when when they were running the preliminary. What is it? Primaries. Everybody that was on the panel was talking about what they're gonna do for veterans. Every one of them. And everybody trying to get in. The veterans, what was happening in the veterans hospitals, it was horrible. Some of the hospitals were just, right there in Washington, the Walter Reed, they were saying it was just terrible and all that kind of thing. And see, that's what we need to look at the veterans. We got veterans out here right now that qualify for all kind of programs and situations. They're homeless. They going down to the mission, and they got money they can be getting. They could put them into apartments and houses and everything, and it's not publicized. You don't see the government putting that out. It's not a thing. Well, see, you veterans, why don't you come and get screened so we can see if you qualify for the programs we have. You don't ever see them do that kind of thing. So hopefully that's what Roy's about, trying to get the message off of that. And this is one of the vehicles that we're going to do it with, the Leon Watkins Show.
That's right.
Is that right? What would you do in this country without a veteran? Without a soldier, somebody just protecting and going to places that we wouldn't dare go, even though they're talking about, this is maybe for you. They're talking about, I don't know if it's true or not.
About women, being drafted?
Yes. Does that happen yet? You don't know anything about it? Oh, yeah, they say they're going to put the drafted women now. So, because some women say they want to be drafted. You know, I don't know. What do you think about women being drafted? I'm going to look at this woman right here. You think women should be drafted?
See, now you're trying to come at my feminism and for women. I don't know. I guess it should be a choice. I don't think a woman should be pulled. I don't know. I don't want to go to war.
Well, that's what's been said. Nobody wants to go to war, but the fact is, like in these other countries, like Israel, for instance, they just automatically they go in. I mean, they don't have a choice. I mean,
well, they start getting rid of all the disparities as far as pay, entitlement for women. It's truly equal all around, perhaps. But if you're not stepping to me and everything is equal, don't even think about parting your lips saying that I'm being drafted for war.
Well, I don't think they were going. I wouldn't like to think so, but you never know where they were going and say you go in and then person. A man the same age, the same everything as you, and he would get you become a sergeant, he would get a different pay than you.
Well, I'm saying even be outside of that, even in the working world, outside of war and all that. Until a woman has all the same rights as a man, getting paid where you don't have to see, a woman is making $1 less or 70 cents less than a man. All the opportunities stand, then come and propose that. But until then, this shouldn't even be a discussion.
Well, it shouldn't be, but again, we living in this thing,
right.
And it's already. I want to find out. I need my producer to find that out. When we come back again next week, we're gonna find out if they've already instituted, or how far away is it, or what's the deal with it. Mr. Producer, I'd like for you to get into that. I appreciate it. But and I'd like for you to think about it, because, see, I think that I'll draft you.
And have me almost risk losing my life?
No, I said I draft you.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah. See, since you've been gone, you would automatically would have picked that up earlier. I mean,
sometimes you got to get back on the reins.
Oh, right.
David, shakes his head.
James Brown said it. The good foot.
Right.
On the good foot, baby. But you know what? This thing that's what's going on in our world, I feel, to watch our young people. Oh man, the show's over.
Not yet.
I mean, my God, it's almost over though. What do we do?
Well, we got to talk about what's going on with the show, the movie.
Goodness. Look up.
Time goes by quickly.
Okay, well, yeah, let's talk about the movie. The Joe Beck story, we've given it to. I can't. I don't want to divulge some things, but it's like when we put it out there to some people that can really make it happen, and so they're giving it to they're perusing it. Is that the right word? In perusable,
looking at it.
Yeah, fashion, and then we should be getting some feedback. But in the meantime, we're moving right along. Joe is at a conference. Joe Beck is, she's. Is in the scrap iron business. She ran that company for many years, and that's what her family does. And so she's doing that in Atlanta now. So she's in Alabama now doing what she has to do to make a living for now. I mean, she's doing okay, and we just kind of moving on with our life with this thing. Because one day we're gonna come on and tell you it's over. We've done it. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be picking up Dawn and say, Dawn, we want you to do this and that and the other, because you've already proven yourself, that you're able to do that. We just can't let you go nowhere and come back because you changed. Yes, David?
Well, next week's Thanksgiving, you might have some Thanksgiving wishes.
Oh, I wish people, with the Thanksgiving, again, it's a bittersweet thing at times, because I know that everybody's not going to have anything. A lot of people are still hungry in our city, in our communities. They just don't have it. And I know people, speaking of that, Jackson of limousine service, he passed.
Yeah.
He was doing this for many, many years, 25, 30 years, helping people with Thanksgiving and serving our turkeys. Yeah. So he passed. And you have others that to be able to take his place or be able to move into a slot like that is important, because he was affecting so many thousands and thousands of families that really depended on that. And I would just think that a lot of people, seniors and folks will not have what some people will have this year. And I just want to keep them in prayer. And that's what I'm saying about people who's supposed to be the representative of our community. Look at people like that can't get out and do things, shut in folks is disabled or whatever. Be able to recognize that. And that's what I was saying about people who you know. If you see they don't have anything, you need to go this Thanksgiving and help them, man. Let them at least give them a plate of food or something so they can feel wanted and needed. Find you somebody that needs it, because there's always somebody that needs your help.
Right.
So, and I just want everybody to have a true, happy Thanksgiving, and let it be something that you be something that you remember for the rest of your life, that this is the best one you can have, because not only did you get served, you helped serve someone else.
Yeah. And in 2 weeks, when you come back, you're going to have a very exciting guest on December 1st. When we come back, you will be having a pilot for United Airlines who's also very involved in the community.
Oh, wow.
That will be talking about his involvement with that, and also all about flying. I'm a big fan of airplanes, so we're going to get all kinds of information about that as well. In 2 weeks, his name is Eric Block.
Eric Block. Mm-hmm. All right, United Airlines pilot. I was going to be a pilot one time because I used to fly all the time.
Really?
Yeah, but I never left the ground. Anyway, see, it's another thing y'all got to learn. If I make a joke like that, I need to hear some belly laughs. I don't need to see all that other. I made a joke. I fly, but I
was laughing inside. I rolled on the floor. I lost my breath, and even tears came down.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Because I need that. I know see that laugh he's doing now.
That's funny.
He made it pain. He's laughing like that, but he pointed at you and said that's funny, and I'm still saying it. That's my joke. That's my thing. I mean, you should be laughing at me like that. So, okay, well, we'll have a meeting after the show. Let's find out what's going on here. But anyway, I want to thank you for listening. God bless you. Help somebody before we're gone. And the next time we'll be, it'll be in 2 weeks. Have a good Thanksgiving. Love you. In the Leon Watkins Show, we all say so long.
Down the path of life where only fool's there to go. And even though you you speak, son, you got to try for yourself. When you speak,